this was the week where the Supreme Court of the United States overturned Roe versus Wade, changing a 50-year precedent on the right to seek an abortion and to receive an abortion. Not that it wasn't already being chipped away at, but here we go. And it very closely follows the leaked ruling from Samuel Alito only a month and a half ago or something. Again, it was a 6-3 vote with all extremist justices, including 3 of the recently Trump-appointed justices on the conservative side, as well as John Roberts and his dumbass. I wanted to mention that Clarence Thomas directly stated that other rights should be revisited after this, like gay marriage, the right to contraception, the right to doing it in the butt. And I call it doing it in the butt because anal just, I don't know why.
Sodomy?
Thank you. Sodomy. See, getting all biblical on me, Kate. Shit.
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, I mean, I'm coming at this from a deeply religious perspective. Yeah.
Yeah. The holy, yes. The commandment of sodomy. Even though he didn't mention interracial marriage or the Loving versus Virginia ruling, which is very interesting. And I think he totally knows and wants to put that next because it's his only chance of getting out of any responsibility for his wife, Ginny Thomas's like seditious activities. It's like, oh, we can't even be married. I'm not even. This has been illegal. Like, this
I know this is like, I know you're joking, but I mean, holy shit. Like, Senator John Cornyn brought up Brown versus Board, and I would not, like, basically the people that have, said, oh, okay, the conservatives will never do this, especially the conservative legal movement. I mean, hasn't that just been the wrong take every time? Like, they will not. There's not really anything that's too awful for them to do at this point,
Oh, absolutely. We're well into gonna be into. I mean, we already are into resegregation territory, and that's exactly what they're going for. Obviously, there were immediate impacts of the Roe v. Wade decision. So just so you all know, 13 states have trigger laws, which are designed to snap into effect immediately or soon after the Roe reversal. 9 states have bans that predate the 73 Supreme Court ruling that guaranteed a constitutional right to abortion. Some states have both. That's very interesting. Then you can see this map of sort of where abortion rights are protected, where they're not. Banned or mostly banned in those 9 states, or we're talking including Texas, Ohio, and Utah. Texas, by the way, is the state with the most uninsured people in the country in terms of healthcare. So just another notch on their belt of being reactionary and wanting people to die. Then you've got states like Georgia and Iowa that are very likely to ban abortion. Michigan, where the future is unclear. But for example, a 1931 law that calls for 4 years of prison time for doctors who perform abortions and possibly for women who take medication to induce an abortion took effect Friday. Democratic Governor Gretchen Whitmer said in a statement, Whitmer, who's up for re-election, called the law antiquated and noted for now a Michigan court has put a temporary hold on the law, but that the decision is not final. She filed a lawsuit in April urging her state Supreme Court to determine whether the Constitution protects the right to abortion. What's amazing about laws that were devised in 1931 is it's like how global warming releases all these like ancient bacteria from the permafrost, like that's what our country's going through right now.
Yeah.
Like once certain rights get melted away, all of these old laws of like, I don't know, if you step on a crack, you do break your mother's back. Like, I don't like just fucking random ass shit is just going into effect.
Yeah. I mean, not an original point, but it's pretty wild that, like, we are at the point of having less reproductive rights than 50 years ago. I think it's really challenging, you know, that like kind of fundamental liberal idea of like the arc of history bends towards justice. I mean, does it though? Certainly not automatically.
No, exactly. Or that I love, I'm reminded of Condoleezza's, like, slavery would have ended anyway, quote. Which honestly is not even that much of a right-wing belief. It is sort of a centrist belief of like, things just get better. And if they don't, we ignore them.
I mean, I was thinking about this today, right? Because, you know, the things often do get better over time, not always, but, you know, like if you think about something, you know, if you think about the movement for what was at that time called gay marriage, civil rights, you know, all of these things are, I think, you know, broadly accepted by centrists. And at the time, people were actually in the streets fighting. You know, centrists were telling everybody, including, you know, recently in like the same-sex marriage example, you know, we're saying like, hey, you need to calm down, be patient. I think that centrists really do not understand that like everything that they like that has happened, that's like kind of a liberal goal, has only been possible because of the work of the activist left that they hate so much, you know?
100%. I mean, and we're in Pride Month still. And, you know, I think people have been calling into sort of summoning up the spirit of a group like ACT UP, you know, and folks who put their bodies on the line because their friends and comrades were dying, in the, like, you know, the AIDS movement, right? And the like health, which was also a healthcare movement. And it was militant as hell. And yet I think you're right. I think there's a lot of people that once you become comfortable, you sort of like extract yourself from the general struggle and assume it's always been that way, rather than I have these rights because other people fought and died for me. And like, it's a shitty, like, I feel like it gets used against feminists a lot, a little bit of the like, you know, well, the first wave feminist movement did a lot for you. And you're like, yeah. You know, like, it's sometimes used against us asking for more. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, you know, or people will, you know, the right loves to bring up examples of like, oh, you know, you think you're oppressed. Well, how about in, you know, X country? Usually it's a racist example. But, you know, it's like the movement to, you know, get our rights back, you know, that we lost is certainly going to need to involve, you know, tactics outside of voting. I'm not saying don't vote, definitely vote, but I mean, voting is surely not going to be enough. And, you know, the Democratic Party is like out here being like, vote, donate, and, you know, all of the like sort of, you know, stands. I mean, there seems to be sort of huge resistance like among kind of mainstream Democrats of like towards the tactics that will actually need to be used here, you know?
It's going to be a lot more than just voting. What's going on, Frantifa? If you haven't already, subscribe to this channel right now. Hit that button. And also, you can become a patron and support the show every single week. Get access to bonus episodes and exclusive merchandise. Patreon.com/bitchuation room. Do it.